Imagine this. You are sitting at home, enjoying a quiet evening when your phone buzzes. You pick it up, and a robotic voice on the other end says the famous line we all know too well. We have been trying to reach you regarding your car's extended warranty. We have all heard it. It has become a global meme, the ultimate symbol of annoying spam calls. But behind the jokes, the spam, and the aggressive dealership salespeople pressuring you in the finance office when you buy a car lies a very real, multi-billion-dollar industry. When you sit across from that finance manager, and they offer you a 3-year extended warranty for $2,000 or maybe $3,000, a voice in your head inevitably asks, is this a smart financial safety net? Or is this just an IQ tax, a scam designed to separate me from my hard-earned money? Today, we are going to tear down the marketing talk. We are not going to look at this like a salesperson, and we are not going to look at it like a terrified car owner. Instead, we are going to look at extended warranties through the cold, calculating, and fascinating eyes of an actuary. Before we look at the numbers, we need to define what an extended warranty actually is. When you buy a physical product, like a new set of tires or an upgraded stereo, you exchange money for a tangible item. But when you buy an extended warranty, you are not buying a physical car part. You're not even buying a service. You are buying a piece of paper that contains a promise. Specifically, you are buying a localized insurance policy against future uncertainty. The dealership wants you to visualize this product as a magical, invisible shield wrapped around your vehicle, protecting you from the financial ruin of a blown engine or a shattered transmission. But the reality is much more clinical. An extended warranty is simply a contract that dictates who pays the bill if a specific, predefined set of mechanical failures occurs within a specific time frame. And that word, if, is where the actuaries come in. To understand if a warranty is an IQ tax, you need to understand how the price tag is created. Enter the actuary. An actuary is a professional risk assessor. Their entire job is to look at mountains of historical data and predict the future. They do not care about your feelings, and they do not care how much you love your car. They only care about probabilities. Let's play a game. Imagine an actuary is looking at a popular model of a car. Let us call it the Sedan X. The actuary looks at the data for 10,000 Sedan X vehicles that have been on the road for 5 years. They calculate that out of those 10,000 cars, maybe 500 will suffer a major transmission failure that costs $4,000 to fix. Maybe another 1,000 cars will have a computer glitch that costs $800 to fix. And maybe the vast majority, say 8,500 cars, will only ever need routine maintenance, which the warranty does not cover anyway. The actuary tallies up the total cost of all the predicted repairs for all 10,000 cars, and then divides that massive number by 10,000. This gives them the average expected repair cost per car. For the sake of our story, let us say that average expected cost is $600 per vehicle. If the warranty company charged you exactly $600 for the warranty, they would break even. But warranty companies are not charities. They're highly profitable businesses. So what do? They take that $600 expected cost and they start adding layers. They add a layer to cover the dealership's commission because the finance guy needs a cut. They add a layer for administrative costs, office buildings, and marketing. Finally, they add a massive layer for pure corporate profit. By the time that warranty reaches you in the finance office, the price is no longer $600. It is $2,500. This is the golden rule of the extended warranty industry. The price you pay will always be significantly higher than the statistical average cost of the repairs you're likely to need. The house always wins because the game is priced so they cannot lose. From a purely statistical standpoint, for the average consumer, an extended warranty is a losing bet. If the math is so clearly stacked against us, why is this a multi-billion-dollar industry? Are we all just bad at math? No, we're just human. And warranty companies are masters of behavioral economics. They do not sell math, they sell psychology. The first psychological trigger they pull is called loss aversion. Human beings are wired to feel the pain of a loss roughly twice as strongly as we feel the pleasure of a gain. Imagine the pain of suddenly having to empty your bank account of $3,000 to fix a broken engine. That thought creates severe anxiety. The warranty salesperson exploits this anxiety. They frame the warranty not as an expense, but as a shield against catastrophic loss. You're not buying a warranty. You are buying peace of mind. And for many people, paying $2,000 over the course of a 5-year car loan is worth it just to banish the anxiety of a sudden, massive repair bill. The second psychological trigger is the availability heuristic. This is a fancy way of saying that we judge the likelihood of an event based on how easily we can remember an example of it. You might have an uncle whose transmission exploded on the highway, leaving him stranded in thousands of dollars in debt. Because that story is vivid and memorable in your mind, your brain tricks you into thinking that engine explosions are highly common occurrences. In reality, modern cars are incredibly reliable, and catastrophic failures are statistically rare. But the memory of your uncle's bad luck makes you reach for your wallet. So, is it always an IQ tax? Is it always a bad idea? Not necessarily. The actuary looks at averages, but you are not an average. You are an individual driving a specific car under specific circumstances. Let us look at 3 distinct scenarios to see how the landscape changes. Scenario A, the reliable commuter. Imagine you are buying a lightly used, popular Japanese sedan, a car universally renowned for its bulletproof reliability. The dealership offers you a $2,000 extended warranty. In this scenario, buying the warranty is almost certainly an IQ tax. The engineers who built that car designed it to run for hundreds of thousands of kilometers with basic maintenance. The probability of a catastrophic failure is incredibly low. If you buy the warranty, you are essentially padding the dealership's bottom line. You would be much better off keeping that $2,000. Scenario B, the complex European luxury machine. Now let's switch gears. Imagine you are buying a used, high-performance European luxury SUV. It has twin turbochargers, air suspension, massage seats, and more microchips than a space shuttle. This is where the probability game gets interesting. The actuary knows this car is expensive to fix. If the air suspension fails, it is not a small bill. It is a massive, terrifying bill. In this scenario, the variance in repair costs is huge. While the warranty company has still priced the policy to make a profit on average, the risk to you as an individual is much higher. If you do not have $5,000 in liquid cash sitting in a bank account ready for an emergency repair, an extended warranty on a highly complex, expensive-to-repair vehicle might not be an IQ tax. It might actually be a rational form of financial protection to prevent personal bankruptcy. Scenario C, the fine print trap. Here is a scenario that catches many people off guard. You buy the warranty, feeling safe and secure. 2 years later, your car's brakes need replacing, and the clutch is completely worn out. You take it to the shop, expecting the magic shield to protect you. The mechanic calls you and says, "Sorry, the warranty company denied the claim." Why? Because almost all extended warranties cover mechanical failure, but they explicitly exclude wear and tear. Brakes, clutches, wiper blades, tires, and sometimes even suspension components are considered consumable items. They're supposed to wear out. The warranty company will only pay if a part breaks due to a defect, not because it simply got old. Furthermore, if you miss a single scheduled oil change, or if you take your car to an unapproved mechanic, the warranty company can instantly void your entire contract. If you do not read the fine print, the warranty transforms from a safety net directly into an IQ tax. We have looked at the math. We have looked at the psychology. Now, what is the final verdict? Is an extended warranty an IQ tax? For the vast majority of consumers, buying a standard, reliable car, the answer is yes. It is an overpriced insurance policy that capitalizes on your fear of the unknown. So how do you beat the house? You change the rules of the game. You become your own warranty company. Financial experts often recommend a strategy called self-insuring. When the finance manager offers you that $2,000 warranty, politely decline. Then take that exact amount of money, whether it is $2,000 up front or $50 extra a month, and put it into a dedicated high-yield savings account. Label that account Car Repair Fund. Now, you have the ultimate peace of mind. If your car breaks down, you use the money in that account to fix it. You do not have to argue with a claims adjuster You do not have to worry about fine print, and you do not have to prove that it wasn't wear and tear. But here's the best part and the real secret of the actuary. If your car remains reliable, which statistically it probably will at the end of 5 years, that money is still yours. You have successfully kept the actuary's profit margin in your own pocket. At the end of the day, an extended warranty is a probability game. The house has the data, the house sets the prices, and the house intends to win. Understanding this does not mean you should never buy one. If you're buying a highly complex vehicle and you value absolute budget certainty over statistical savings, it might make sense for you. But you must make that decision with your eyes wide open, recognizing that you're paying a premium for an emotional feeling of safety, not making a mathematically winning investment. The next time your phone rings and that robotic voice asks about your car's extended warranty, or the next time you sit in a dealership finance office, do not panic. Do not let loss aversion control your wallet. Channel your inner actuary. Look at the probabilities, read the fine print, and decide who you want to keep the profit, the warranty company or you. Thank you for tuning in, and I'll see you in the next video.